Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to the Partner Study Center. And what is our topic today? Today we discussion most important question paper from class 10 CBSE NCERT Social Science here. You know that this important question answer. The question here arrive. The most powerful weapon of the Spanish is the conquerors was not a conventional military weapon at all. Justify. You know that is an important question for the exam view here. The most powerful weapon of the Spanish is a conqueror was not a conventional military weapon at all. Justify. The Spanish conquerors is the most powerful weapon was not a conventional military weapon because first point here, they use a germ like a small pox which spread deep into the continent before any European could reach there. This means to the germs like a small pox which spread deeply into their continent before any European could be reached there. America's original inhabitants had no immunities against this disease that come from the Europe. You know that's important. American as original inhabitant had no immunity against the smallpox. That's important weapon here. The next year, this disease, there is a whole community. You know that this disease is a smallpox. It raised the whole community, leading to be conquest. That's important here. And this biological warfare is the mid 60th centuries made it easy to Spanish to overpower the Americans. That's important for the exam view here. 4 point here. That's important. The next question arrive here. That's the most important here. Traders and travelers introduce a new crop to the land. There is a traveled. Straight with the statement. That's important here. You know that traders and travelers introduce a new crop. You know that's important. Traders and travelers introduce a new crop to land. There is a traveled. You know. The first point here. It is a belief that noodles traveler best from China to become a Sabghati. Sabghati, that's important. And famous Arab trader took a pasta to the 5th century Syria and there is land now in Italy. That's important here. There are China to become a Sabghati and there is a pasta to 5th century Syria and as land now in Italy. Similarly, food was now in India and Japan, so that the truth about their origins may be never be known. The similarly food was now in India and in Japan, so that the truth about their origin may be never be known. And many of our common foods such as the potatoes, soya, groundnut, maize, tomato, chilies, sweet potatoes, and so on were not only known they were ancestors until about 5 centuries ago. That's important here. There are many of common food items here. And this food were only introduced in Europe and Asia after the Christopher Columbus is accidentally discovered the vast continent that would be later become known as the America. That's important. There is the food where only introduced Europe, Asia after Christopher Columbus is accidentally discovered the vast continent that would be later become now as the America. In fact, many of our common food come from the Americas as origin inhabitant, the American Indian. You know that the many common food come from America as a original inhabitant. There's the American Indian. That's important here. You know that question here. Mr. Palne is from Tamil Nadu. Visit to cultivate either tea or wheat. Which one of the crop out of the two can be cultivated in this state? Straight your answer. You know that's important. There's a Mr. Palne is from Tamil Nadu. Wish to cultivate either tea or wheat. Which one of the crop out of the two can be cultivated in his state? That's an important question for the exam view here. You know that the point of first here, Mr. Pali must have cultivated tea in Tamil Nadu as the soil and climatic condition in Tamil Nadu are suitable to grow tea. Know that the most important here are soil and climatic condition. Any is cultivate here. There is soil and climate condition of Tamil Nadu suitable to the grow of tea. The tea plant grow well in the tropical and subtropical climate. The tea plant is here the most important grow here. Tropical and subtropical climate in what it will there are deep and fertile, well drained, later soil and rich in the humus and organic matter. That's important here. Tuberculosis is a required of warmth and moisture forced free climate all through the year. You know that tuberculosis is required to warm and moisture forced a free climate all through the year. And frequent shower eventually is distributed over the year ensure a continuous growth of tender leaves. You know that's important. Frequent shower evenly is distributed over to the year ensure the continually growth of the tender leaves. That's important here. The next question arrive here. That's the most important here. Mention any two reasons to state that India is a federal country. You know that is an important question for the exam view here. Mention any two reasons to state that India is a federal country. That's an important question here. The following are the reasons to be stated that India is a federal country. That's important here. First of all here, the federal is the most important features here. Division of power. Division of power, that is the most important, the features of federal country. The Constitution of India, clearly democrat. The power of the center and state governments both have their separate area of jurisdiction. That's important here. The seventh schedule of Indian Constitution lists the union list, state list and concurrent list, which define their power and responsibility of center and state government. Division of power, that is the most important feature of federal government here. That's important. The Constitution of India is clearly democrat. The power of the center and state government. Central and state government. And both have their separate area of jurisdiction. And seventh schedule of the Indian Constitution, list of the union, list of there is the state and the list of the concurrent, which define the power and responsibility of the central and state government. That's important division of power here. The next here, independent judiciary here. That's important here. Independent judiciary here. India has independent judiciary with there is the power of judicial review here. You know what is important? Independent judiciary here. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judiciary is the authority in the country and has two power to the interpret their constitution and resolve debt between the central and state government. That's important here. The next here, representation of state. That's important here. Representation of state. The Rajya Sabha, the upper house. Rajya Sabha, there is the upper house of the Indian Parliament. Represent the state and union territory of India. The Rajya Sabha is the upper house and Lok Sabha is a lower house. The member of Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected member of the Legislative Assembly of the state and union territory. That's important here. The member of Rajya Sabha elected their elected member of the Legislative Assembly of the state and union territory. This factor contribute to the India being a federal country where a power is divided between the center and state government. That's important here. The power is divided here, the federal government between center and state government. That's important 3 point here for the exam view here. Our next question arrive here. That's important. The question here, Provide the evidence to support the claim that a print culture had a significant impact on the social lives on women in India. You know that is important. Provide the evidence to support the claim. The print culture had a significant impact on the social lives human in India. That is the condition of human in India. That's important here. There is a claim. You know that the rise of print culture in India during the 19th century. That's period time here, 19th century. The rising of print media in print culture in India play a crucial role in awakening their social life of women. The print media is the most important here. A social life of women is here crucial role. The print press allowed to the women to access information, knowledge, and ideas that were previously inaccessible to them. The women as a magazine, newspapers, and books provided a platform for a woman to express their view, idea, and opinions on the various social issues such as education, gender, equality, women as a right, and social reform. That's important as a print media here. There are magazines also. A newspaper and book provide to the platform to women express in open view, idea and opinions and various issues here. The social issue here, education, gender equality, women rights and social reform. That's important. The liberal husbands and fathers began to the educating their women folk at the home and send them to the school. That's important fact here of print media on social life here. Liberal husband and the fathers began to educating their home women's folk at their home and send their school. That's important. In East Bengal, Rashundari Devi. That's important. Rashundari Devi is a young married girl in a very orthodox household and learned to read in the scarcity of their kitchen and write their autobiography Amar Jeevan. You know that this is most important incident here. The West Bengal Rashundari Devi. That's an important girl here. The household learning to read their scarcity of the kitchen and write here autobiography Amar Jeevan is 1876. It was the first full-length autobiography published in their Bengali language. There is a most important woman here, Sundari Devi. There is a young married girl in a very orthodox household here. There is an autographic here, Amar Jeevan, 1876, that is published here. And fully length of autography is published in a Bengali language. The Bengali woman like class Basani Devi is write a book highlighting the expression of women about how women were imprisoned at the home, keeping knowledge forced to do hard domestic labors and threat to injustice by their family. That's important here. Bengali women like a class Basani is Devi here. In Maharashtra, Tarabai, Sindhe and Pandita Ramabai is right with their passionate is the anger about the miserable live in the upper caste Hindu women, especially the widow. You know that's an important example for here. A woman is a Tamil novel expressed that a reading means to be a woman who were confined by the social regulation. For various reasons, my world is small. More than half my life is a happiness has come from a book. You know that is an important point here. The woman is Tamil is a novel expressed that a reading meant to the women who were confined by social regulation. And there is a various reason my world is small. More than half of my life is a happiness has come from a book. Therefore, print culture helped to the awaken social consciousness and contribute to the progress of women's right and empowerment in India. That's important here for the exam view. The next question arrive here. That's important. A question here. A worker in an urban area who was the working in a small factory was not paid his wage properly. He was forced to the work extra hour under a poor working condition. There was no job security. Recently, he lost his job and was found selling electrical item is a postcard. Analyze the role of the government in the protecting the workers working in the unorganized sector. You know that that's the most important question from exam view. Let's see their answer. The following are the way in which their workers in the unorganized sector can be protected by the government. You know that is the most important duties here. Government, there is an unorganized sector can be protected by the government. That's the most important here. You know that first point here, the small factory must be registered by the government and have to be follow its rules and regulation, which are given in the various laws such as the Factories Act and Minimum Wage Act and Payment Gratuities Act and Shop and Establishment Act, etc. This is the most important here. A small factory by the registration by the government and the follow the rule and regulation. And second here, the government can provide to the loan to the help unemployed educated youth to be start their own business. That's important here. The government can be provide to the loan to the help to unemployed educated youth to start their own business. And the next year, the workers are supposed to be get a medical benefit, and under the law the factory manage has to ensure facilities like drinking water and safe working. You know that's important here. The medical benefit is provided in this rule regulation. That's the most important point here. Important. The important that our next question, that's the most important here. The question here, Mr. Pavan, a village had wanted to be create a more job opportunity to be increase the income of the people of his village under the Manrega Act. Suggest any three activities so that Mr. Pavan could be instead in his village. You know that is the most important question here. Under the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, mean or Manrega. Manrega is full form here. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. The village had Mr. Pavan can be take a several initiative to increase the income of the people living in his village. That's an important point here. Let us see here. First of all, you understand what is a Manrega here. The Manrega aim to provide to employment to a rural household, and the following activity can be initiated to generate employment opportunity and increase the income. The Manrega regarding here 100 days is a job facility provided the village sector here. And the first point here that's important, cleaning the lake and pond. You know that is important here. Cleaning the lake and pond. Cleaning and maintenance water bodies such as the lakes and pond can be helped to improve the quality of water and make it suitable for irrigation purpose. There is increase of income, and this can be lead to increase agriculture productivity, which in the turn can increase the income of the farmer. That's the most important is here. A cleaning lake and the ponds here. The next year, additionally, cleaning to the lake and pond can be provide employment opportunity for the local people. You know that the local people here increase of income on this system here. That's important. Cleaning the lake and pond, there is a most important for the increasing of income here, because there is a most important activity on here. Village side there is agriculture productivity. You know that clean the lake and pond, and there is improved to quality of water to suitable irrigation purpose. That's important for the income of the farmer, and there is also a good employment opportunity for the local people. That's important here. The next point here, village road construction. That's important here. Village road construction. The construction of village roads can improve to connectivity and accessibility within the village, making it easier to the people to the commute to be work or transport goods. That's important. Village road construction here. This can be helped to increase economic activity in a village and creating to more job opportunity and the boosting the income of the local people. That's important. Village road construction here. And the next, increasing of income here, cooperative milk society means a small scale industry. That's important here. A cooperative milk society and a small scale industry. The formation of cooperatives milk society can provide a platform for the local dairy farmers to collectively sell their milk and other dairy products, increasing their income. That's important. And similarly, the establishment of a small scale industry can generate employment opportunity and create a market for the local product, which can further contribute to increasing the income of the people. That is important here. Cooperative milk society and small scale industries here. That's important. The next here, construction work. You know that the construction work there mean the construction of houses, a community center, and other infrastructure project can generate employment opportunity for the local people, helping to the boost their income. That's the construction work that's the most important for village sector here. And this can also improve their living standard of villagers and making it is a unsuitable solution for the poverty's education. That's important. There is improved living standard of the villagers. On the construction of work here, infrastructure, community center, there's a take a more employment opportunity for the local people and helping to boost of the income. That's important here. But next question arrive here, that's the most important here. Our question here, agriculture give a boost to the industrial sector. Justify the statement. That's important here. Agriculture give a boost to the industrial sector. Agriculture give a boost to the industrial sector in the following way. Let's see the following way here. The first of all, there is give a raw material supply. That's important. Raw materials supply here. Agriculture is the significant source of raw material for various industries, such as a food, processing, and textile and paper. Means a raw material is the most important for industry purpose here. There is a food processing, textile, and paper. For instance, the cotton industry lies as a heavier on the production of cotton from the agriculture field. And similarly, food processing industry on the agriculture product such as a fruit, vegetables, and cereals. That's important here. And thus a healthy agriculture sector can ensure a steadily to supply of raw material for the industry, which in the turn can boost their productivity and growth. That's important here. Healthy agriculture sector can ensure a steadily supply of raw materials for industries, and which in the turn can boost their productivity and growth here. That's important. Let's see second point here. The second point asked here, a market expansion. That is important here. The market expansion. Agriculture provide a vast market for industry products here. For example, the use of agriculture machinery such as tractors, tillers, and the harvester creates as the demand for industry goods, including steel, plastics, and rubber. That's important here. Market expansion here. And moreover, the growth of agriculture sector increase the purchasing power of farmers, and who become a significant consumer group for industry products such as the consumer goods and automobiles and appliances. That's important here. The market expansion. And the next year, employment generations here. The employment generations is important. Agriculture is a labor-intensive sector that grants employment opportunity for a significant population in India. That's important. A healthy agriculture sector can increase the income level of farmers and agricultural workers, and which in the turn can create a demand for industrial products and service. That's important here, employment generations here. And additionally, there are agriculture-related industries such as a food processing and agrochemicals also create a job opportunity, especially in a rural area. That's important. Thus, a robust agriculture sector can help to reduce unemployment and poverty, which are a major challenge in India. That's important here. But next question arrive here. This is most important. The Indian Constitution provides a three list to be distribute the legislative power. State any two subjects that are included in the union list. In which list the subject education is included and why? The Indian Constitution has a three-folded distribution legislative power here, which contain three lists. You know that the three list is the most important here. The three lists are the union list, the state list, and the concurrent list. Union list, state list, and concurrent list. The subjects that are included in the union list are those that are under the exclusive jurisdiction of the union government. That's important. You know that some of the subjects that are included in the union list are the union list is subjected here defense of the country, foreign affair and relation, banking, currency and coinage, railways and air transport, post and telegraph, censorship and statistics, copyright, patents and trademark. This list is the union list. This list subjected to the union list here. That's the defense of country, foreign affair, banking, currency and so on. That's important. The subject education come under the concurrent list. The subject educations come under to the concurrent list, which means that both the union government and the state government have to power to make a law on the subject. The concurrent list is contain a subject that are common interest to both the union and state government. That's important here. The education come under to the concurrent list. That's important here. According to question paper, next question arrive here. That's important here. The question here, theory sector activity help in the development of primary and secondary sector. Estimative your answer, you know that substantive your answer, that's important. The theory sector activity help in the development of primary and secondary sector. You know that in any country, several services such as the hospitals, educational institution, post and telegraph service, police station, court, village, administrative office, municipality corporation, defense, transport, bank and insurance company are required. And this can be considered a basic service. You know that's important. In any country, several services such as the hospital, that's important. In a development country, the government must take a responsibility for the provision of this service. The development country, the government must take a responsibility for the provision of this service. The development of agriculture and industry lead to the development of service such as a transport, trade and storage. That's important. The development of agriculture and industry lead to the development of service such as a transport, trade and storage. The greater the development of primary and secondary sector, the more would be a demand for such a service. That's important. You know that that's the most important question paper. But next question arrive here, that's most important for the exam view here. A non-conventional resource are the best option to be conserved the natural resources. Substantiate his statement with example. You know that that's an important question for the exam view here. Non-conventional resources are the best option to conserve the natural resource. The non-conventional resource is the most important because non-conventional resources are the best option conserving the natural resource. Non-conventional resources are also known as the renewable sources of energy. Renewable sources of energy. There is the most important here. Non-conventional resources here. Renewable resources. Example here. Non-conventional sources of energy include solar energy, bioenergy, tidal energy, and wind energy, and geothermal energy, natural gas, etc. That's the most important example here. Non-conventional sources of energy here. They are inexhaustible and renewable. And they're also considered as a clean source of energy. The non-conventional here considered a clean sources of energy. Optional use of resource of energy minimize environmental impact, and non-conventional resource provide to the minimum secondary waste compared to use of conventional sources here. That's important. And their growing to the consumptions of energy has resulted in the country becoming increasingly dependent on a fossil fuel. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas. That's an important example for fossil fuel here. Coal, oil, and gas. Rising of price of oil and gas and their potential storage have to rise to the uncertainty about the security of energy supply in the future. That's important here. There is a security of energy supply in the future, and which in the turn has a serious repercussions on the growth of the national economy. And natural gas is considered an environmentally friendly fuel because of low carbon dioxide emission. There is a environmentally friendly fuel. There is a non-conventional energy here, or environmentally friendly fuel because low carbon dioxide emissions here. That's important. It does not be cases of air pollution or environmental degradation. Non-conventional energy is the most important because does not be causing of air pollution or environmental degradation. Thus, it is the fuel for present of century. That's important. And renewable energy resource technology is a provide on the excellence opportunity for the migration of greenhouse gas emission and reducing global warming through the substituted or conventional energy source. That's important here is a renewable resource is the environmental friendly fuel here, and there's a no is here a carbon dioxide produced here, and generally there is the not causing a air pollution. That's most important here. But next question arrive here, that is the most important for the exam view. Analyze the impact of mining activity on the local environment and the health of the surrounding communities. You know that is important. Analyze the impact of mining activities on the local environment and the health of surrounding community. You know that the hazard of mining on the impact of the mining on there is a health of the miners and the environment are given below here. First of all here, the dust and noxious as a flames inhaled by the miners make them to the vulnerable and pulmonary diseases. You know that is important for the health effect here, or dust and noxious flames here. And second here, in foundations of fires in the coal mines are a content threat to be a miner. That's important. The fact that a mining is one of the most dangerous jobs. Mining usually has a negative impact on the environment with the productions of a lot of waste. You know that's important. The mining usually has to be negative impact on the environment with the production of a lot of waste. This is dangerous jobs here. And description to be a local flora and fauna and contamination of the local water resources. You know that is a main affected here of flora and fauna. There is a contamination of the local water source and affected by the local flora and fauna. It could be required to the revolves of massive amount of topsoil leading to the erosions, loss of habitat and pollution. That's important. And the next question arrive here, that's the most important. How would you elevate of Napoleon as the administrator who create a more a rational and efficient system? Included with their suitable example. You know that is the most important question for the exam view here. Napoleon as the administrator who is the creator more rational and efficient system. The Civil Code of 1804. The Civil Code of 1804 is really known as the Napoleon Code. You know that Civil Code of 1804 is also called to Napoleonic Code here. And secret their right of property, establish equality before the law, and remove all the prejudice based on a birth. You know that's important. The Napoleon Code secured that right to be property and established the equality before the law and removed all the privileges based on birth. The Napoleon Code was followed by the regional under to the French control. The Napoleonic Code was the followed by their regions under to the French control. That's important. The new businessman and artisan, peasant and workers enjoy a newfound freedom here. You know that's important. New businessman, artists, peasant and worker enjoy a newfound freedom here. In territory under French control such as Italy, Germany, Switzerland and Dutch Republic, peasants were freed from to the nominals due and peasants were freed from to the serfdoms. Feudal system was abolished, administrative division were simplified. That's important. And guild restriction were removed in a town. Guild restriction were removed in a town. And there were improvement in the communication and transport system. That's important here. To facilitate there is the movement and exchange of goods and the capital from one region to be another. A small-scale producer of the goods and businessmen began to realize that a common national currency and a standardized measuring and weight and uniform law were a great help. That's the most important Napoleon achievement on this period time here and the Napoleon Code here. According to question paper, next question arrive here. That is important here. You know that question here analyze the discussion taken by the conservative at the Congress of Vienna in the year 1815. That's important here. There are conservatives at the Congress of Vienna in their year 1815. The representative of fourth great European power, British, Russia and Austria, who had a collectively defected of Napoleon. You know that there is European power here of Britain, Russia, Prussia and Austria. There is a defected by the Napoleon. Meet at Vienna to be drove up a settlement for Europe. The Congress was hosted by the Austrian Chancellor Duke Mettenheim and the result was a Treaty of Vienna of 1815. That's important. Its object was to be undo the changes that had come about in the Europe during the Napoleonic War and restore there is a monarchy that has been to the overthrown by the Napoleons and create a new conservative order in Europe. You know that's important. Its object was to be undo to change that had to come about in the European during to the Napoleonic War and to be restored there is a monarchy that has been to the overthrow by Napoleon and create a new conservative order in Europe. The word was Descenti deposed during to the French Revolution and was restored to power. French lost their territories it has annexed under to Napoleon. As a series of states were set up on the boundaries of France to be prevent it from expansion in the future. Example, Kingdom of Netherlands, which is included Belgium, was set up in the north. Example here, Kingdom of Netherlands, which included Belgium, was set up in the north. Genus was added to the Padoment in the south, and Prussia was given territories on its western frontier here. And Austria was given control of northern Italy. Austria was given control of northern Italy here. The German Confederation of 39 states set up by Napoleon was left untouched. You know that's important. The German Confederations of 39 states set up by the Napoleon was left untouched here. In the east, Russia was given a part of Poland, while the Prussia given to the possessions of Saxony. And thus the conservative regime set up the 1815 were autocratic, and they did not be tolerate religion and dissent. You know that's important. Thus the conservative regimes set up the 1815, and they covered activity that questioned the legitimacy of autocratic government. That's important here. There's an activity that has a questioning there's a legitimacy of autocratic government. Next question arrive here. That's important for the exam view here. Analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. You know that there is a question is clear here. Analyze the role of multi-party system in a democratic country like India. In a democratic system like India, multi-party political play a crucial role in the representing the diverse interest and aspiration of the citizen. That's important. The multi-party system allows for the competitive and dynamic political environment where the parties with the different ideologies and agendas can participate and compete from the support of the electorate. That's important here. The multi-party system allowed to be a competitive and dynamic political environment, and where the parties are different ideology and agendas can participate in a complete for the support of electorate. That's important. The presence of multiple parties also is provides a check and balance against any one party become for the two power and dominant. That's important here. The presence of multi-party also provide a check and balance against any one party become a too powerful and dominant. This system allow a variety of interest and opinion to enjoy the political representations. That is important. This system allow to the variety of interest and opinion to enjoy the political representations here. People can make a choose between two several candidates. That's important here. People can make a choose between several candidates. Through this system, difference and diversity to the party could represent the section of society, and power does not be absorbed in the hand of one single party. That's important features here. There is a not absorbed in the hand of one single party here for here through the system. India adopted this system because of the vast diversity and plurality in the nation. That's important here. A reason of adopted this system. But next question arrive here. That's important. The question here: a farmer has borrowed money from a money lender at a high rate of interest. As he could not be pay the interest, he was forced to borrow from another landlord to be settled the amount of the interest borrowed to be a money lender. state the consequence he may be faced in this situation. You know that that's the most important question for the exam view here. The farmer has borrowed money from a money lender at a high rate of interest. That's true. The answer here, the farmer has fallen into the debate trap. He is a situation where will not be able to repay to the debt as an increase because the informal sector was a source of credit obtained by the farmer, where here the rate of interest is high, no proper documentation is sought, no set of rules and regulation will be followed. The lenders were often punished and will be ill-treated. The prime motives of the informal sources of this kind of credit is to make profit. That's important here. The informal sector was source of credit obtained by the farmer were important. There is interest is a high rate, no proper documentations, no set of rule and regulation, and lender where is a punishment will be ill treated here, and prime motive of informal source of kind of credit to make profit. He may be face the following consequence here. That's important. He may face the following consequence here. The farmer may face a ongoing harassment and physical harm from the man sent by the money lender. He will be not to able make a regular interest payment or repay the fully amount borrowed, and this could be lead to significant stress and anxiety as well as potential physical injuries. That's important consequence here, and borrowings from to another landlord to repay their original loan maybe create a cycle of debt for the farmer, particularly if their interest rate on the second loan are also high. The farmer might be experience personal consequence such as a mental stress, anxiety and depression due to the constant pressure of repayment and harassment from the lender. That is the most important consequence of 4 point here. That is important for the exam view here. Next question arrive here. That's important. The question here, self-help group SHG eliminate poverty and empowers women. Substantiate with a suitable answer. You know that there is a most important question for the exam view here. The question has a SST here. The self-help group SHG eliminate poverty and empowerment of women. Self-help group help to the poor to become a self-reliant in the term of savings and generating income. You know that become a self-reliant in the term of saving and in generating income. They avail their facilities of loan from formal source like banks at a low rate of interest. That's important. They are able to the facilities of loan from formal sources like a bank at the low rate of interest. Second, they do not be demand collateral and so it is easy to assess by the poor. They do not demand collateral and so it is easy to be assessed by the poor. They do not self-help group are exclusively meant for the rural women to make them economically independent through the self-employment opportunities. You know that's important. Self-help groups are exclusively meant for the rural women to make them economically independent through the self-employment opportunities and help to improve other development factors such as literacy level, improve health care and better family planning. That's important. They help to improve other development factors such as literacy level, improve health care and better family planning here. The next here, economical empowerment. Economical empowerment, that's important. SHGS is a provide a woman with a platform to the save and assess credit at the affordable rates, which enable them to start and spend a small business and thus the improving the standard of living. Economical empowerment for women, that's important. And skill development is also important. SHGS is the Indian have also been a successful in the providing skill development and training opportunities to the women. That's important, training opportunity to the women. And through the training programs, women are equipped with there is a necessary skill to start and run successfully business. That's important skill development here. The next here, social empowerment. Social empowerment, that's important point here. By providing a platform for women to come together, share their experience and support each other. SHGS have empower women to take a charge of their lives and become active participant in their opportunity. You know that is an important point here. Skill development, social empowerment. That's the most important for the exam view here. According to question paper, next question arrive here. That's important. The question here, manufacturing sector is considered as the backbone of the general and economical development. Examine the statement in the context of India. You know that's important. The manufacturing sector is considered as the backbone of the general and economical development. That's an important question for the exam view here. The manufacturing sector is considered as a backbone. Manufacturing industry not only help in the modernizing agriculture, which form the backbone of our country, our economics. You know that's important. Manufacturing industry not only help to the modernizing culture, which form the backbone of our economy. They also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agriculture income by providing them a job and secondary and tertiary sector. That's important here. Manufacturing industry is a backbone of India. You know that's an important statement here. First of all here, manufacturing industry help in the modernizing agriculture. That's an important point here. It's a help in reducing the heavy dependence of people on the agriculture income providing to the job and secondary and tertiary sector. That's important. It helps the eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. That's important here. The eradications of unemployment and poverty from our country. It's a help in reducing original disparities by the establishing industry in the tribes and backward area. That's important here. Tribes and backward area, the industry establishment here. The export of manufactured goods expand trade and commerce. That's important. Export of manufactured goods expanding trade and commerce. Its help is a varying of foreign exchange. Its help in varying of foreign exchange. Countries that are transform their raw material into a wide variety of furnished goods of higher value are prosperous. That's important. And industry development is a preconditions for the eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. That's important also is a point here. It also help in the wearing down regional disparities by the establishing industry in our tribes and backward area. And it leads to last point here, export of manufactured goods, expanded trade and commerce are bearing much a need of foreign exchange. That's important here. You know that. And the 10 point is the most important. You choose a 5 point in this is the most important for the exam view here. But according to question, next question arrive here, that's important. The question here, examine the multi-pronged aspect of information technology and electronic industry. You know that is an important question for the exam view here. Examine the multi-pronged aspect of information technology and electronic industry. The electronic industry cover a wide range of products from a transistor set to television, telephone, cellular telecom, pagers, telephone exchange, radar, computers, and many other equipment required by the telecommunication industry. That's in the electronic industry. Bangalore has emerged as the electronic capital of India. Bangalore has emerged as the electronic capital of India. You know that's an important question for the MCQ here. There is a electronic capital of India. There is a Bangalore has emerged electronic capital of India. Another important center of electronic goods are Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, and Coimbatore. That's important here. A state. There is electronic goods are here an important center. The 18 software technology park provide to single window service. 18 software technology park provide a single window service and high data communication facility to the software export. You know that's important. 18 software technology park provide a single window service and high data communication facility to software export. A major impact of the industry has been to employment generation. That's important. A major impact of this industry has been employment generation. It is encouraging to be now that 30% of the people employed in this sector are women. 30% here. The 30% here of people employed in the sector of women. This industry has been a major foreign exchange arena in the last 2 or 3 years because it is a fast growing business process outsourcing here, means BPO sector. That's important here. This industry has been a major foreign exchange arena in the last 2 or 3 because of fast growing business process outsourcing here. The counting growth in the hardware and software is their key to be success of IT industry in India. The continually growth in the hardware and software is their key to be success of IT industry in India. That's important. According to paper, the next question arrive here. That's important. Evaluate the significant distinction between to the national and regional party and assess the requirement for a regional party to become a national party. You know that the question is the most important here. Evaluate the significant distinction between the national and regional parties and assess the requirement for the regional party to become a national party. The difference between the national party and the regional parties are flowing here. First of all here, national party are powerful in the nation and deal with the national issue. That's important national party here. National parties are powerful in the nation and deal with the national issues. And second point here, regional party power is limited to a specific region and state. Regional parties power is limited to be a specific region and state. Only the issues and demand of the specific regions are discussed by the regional parties. And national parties action offer a performance to be national issue and over regional problem. That's important. And regional parties operation are confined to be the state. That's important here. And then here, a regional party must attain their following requirement become a national party. A party must gain at least 6% of the total vote in the Lok Sabha or Assembly election in the 4th state to be national party and win at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha. That's important here. And a party has to be revised at least 6% of total vote in the legislative election to become a regional party and win at least 2 seats. That's important here, 2 seats here. Example of national party are the BJP, Congress and BSP. That's important here, national party are the BJP, Congress and BSP. The example of regional parties are DMK, Telugu, Demson. This topic was till this. We will be do their next topic in the next part. If you like it, then please like, share, subscribe, and share the video as a much as a possible. Do not think, subscribe and save in your mobile.